It's over. European champions. No more. It hurts. Bad times, wasn't it? What a great start it was. Liverpool out the Champions League to Atletico Madrid, 4-2 in aggregate. Like you say, looking back a few weeks ago when we got the draw, we knew it was going to be a tough game. I think in our heart of hearts, we thought we would overcome an Atletico team that aren't really at the peak of their powers, or certainly not the best team they've had within the last 10 years. So it's disappointing. I didn't expect us to go on and win it again. Reach a third final in a row would have been, ridiculously impressive. But we're out. As I say, great start. Gini Wijnaldum getting us just before half time, getting us 1-0 up. Oxlade-Chamberlain down the right hand side, getting the cross in. Wijnaldum heading it into the floor, bouncing up into the corner away from Oblak, who was outstanding, to be honest. But really put us on our way, that one. I think we had something like 34, 35 shots in the whole game, and how we've only ended up scoring twice is really poor. So it's not... there is one person to blame more than others, but everyone as a whole needed to have done better. But at half-time, you're thinking, that's what I'd have taken that. 1-0, all square, another half at Anfield, shooting at the cop. And I think that's where we've lost it, isn't it? 45 minutes to score a goal, and we haven't done it. It's gone to extra time. Luckily, we've got an early goal in the second half, in the first half of extra time, sorry. Firmino, header onto the post. Oblak commits, open goal, taps it in. It's one of them moments you're thinking, this is one of the legendary goals that we're going to score. This Firmino goal that takes us through to the quarterfinals is going to be remembered. It all kind of unravelled from there, didn't it? Pass back to Adrian, who I did say in my last video, can make mistakes. Hopefully he won't, but obviously he did. Why he's passed it into an area where there's 3 Atletico Madrid players when he could have controlled it, passed it out to the left to Milner, I think there was 3 players on the left-hand side for Liverpool. He's passed it straight to him. A quick 1-2 with Llorente and I think João Felix, and Llorente bends it into pretty much an open net. Adrian's not reset and is not ready to make the save. Sort of apologising about his pass rather than sorting himself out. So really, really poor from him. The difference between having Alisson and Adrian is obviously huge. And, you can't say that it wasn't coming. How many times have we got to know that if you don't have a goalie, you're not going to win the matches? You've got Karius from the Kiev final. Adrian this year, he's hit it against Ings for Southampton to score. He dropped one in the FA Cup last week for Willian to score. He's the free kick at home to Brighton. He's standing on one side of the goal. They tap it in the other one. It's mistake after mistake after mistake. There was a reason he was a free transfer and released by West Ham. It may seem harsh. He's done all right at times, but even in the Bournemouth match, even in last night's game, he was dropping pretty simple stops, and you can't afford to have a weak link. You look at the Lovren game against Watford. He was at fault for a couple of them, and you think, our first 11. Most fans of all clubs will probably agree is up there, if not the best first 11 in the world when they're all on form. I know Firmino's not been in rich goal scoring form, but as an 11, there's not much better. As soon as you look at the backups after that 11, it's not good enough. You got your Lovren, Adrian, Origi, Shaqiri, Minamino, Lallana. They're not good enough. They're not going to come off the bench and make a difference. Man City can make 2 subs and bring on a fresh Mahrez and a Bernardo Silva if they need to. We can't do that. And saying that you can't bring in any quality players because they're not happy to be, on the bench, well, how do Man City do it then? It's called rotation. Man City do it to the extreme, but after our first 11, other than really, I know Fabinho came on last night. He'd normally start, so you'd say, Milner and Chamberlain are the most likely sort of impact players for subs, who are great. But, you look around after that, initial 13 players in the team, and there's not really any quality after that. Not consistently, anyway. So I think to get to that next level, to start dominating, Premier League and Champions League for the next sort of 3, 4, 5 years, that's where we need to improve. We need to start signing some better backup. But, yeah, obviously, I say that was 2-1 when Adrian made the error. We were obviously going out then at that time on the away goal. So we're attacking again. Firmino loses possession. We're counter-attacked, I think 2 versus 3. All 3, I think it's Van Dijk, Henderson, possibly by then, and Gomez. running back, all go with the player with the ball, all leave the Llorente guy in the middle who's just scored, and he bends it in because Adrian's terrible, and he's realised that I'm going to put it in that same corner because he's not going to get there again. And yeah, I mean, that's Anfield is silent after that goal, isn't it? We then need 2 goals in a second half of extra time, which, you can't keep pulling off miracles. It can't keep happening. So that was a shame. And obviously at the end we've just pushed everyone forward, and Morata's got one. So I'd rather go out 4-2 than 3-2 and have a go. So disappointing. Obviously we've not lost in any competition at Anfield for 42 games, so that's now come to an end. Obviously we're still on a winning streak in the Prem at home, and that's really the only silver lining, isn't it? Obviously we're out the Champions League in the last 16. Bitterly disappointing about that. Quarterfinals would have been good. You can get an Atalanta, you can get a Red Bull Leipzig, and you think, hello, a decent performance here. We could find ourselves in another Champions League semi-final, and then it's a 50-50, isn't it, if you go through to another final. But yeah, disappointed. You can't afford to have Adrian in goal. I hope Alisson's back for the Merseyside derby on Monday, or it's going to be more of the same. But yeah, I mean, surely a club of Liverpool's stature and size can find a better backup goalkeeper than a 33-year-old West Ham reject, Adrian. 10 million on a backup goalie that's young, up and coming. Alisson's 27, so if we signed a really good up and coming 23-year-old 22-year-old goalie who was going to play in the cups and now and again in the Christmas period in the league, and how many matches we play trying to compete. We say we can't compete in the cups and everything. Let's get more of a squad. That's the only thing that this team is missing now. The first 11. I mean, the way we played last night, we were brilliant. I can't knock them. They were fantastic. It all unravelled when Adrian made the error. If Adrian doesn't make the error, they don't score at all that night. We go through 2-1 on aggregate. So it's a shame, but we won the Champions League last year. We're going to win the Premier League this year. So it's not all doom and gloom, is it? So, don't feel too bad about it. I know it's really painful at the moment, but sometimes you need these kind of games to spur you on again. So we'll be back in the Champions League next year. We're going to be straight into the group stage. We're going to be first seeds. We're going to get into the last 16 again. And in 1 year's time from now, we're going to be making that quarter-final draw. So bring on the next game, Monday night, away to Everton in the Premier League. Hopefully one game closer to that title. And then I'll do another video, hopefully previewing the Crystal Palace game, reviewing the Everton one. And that could be the day we become English Premier League champions. Take care.